Hey guys, Broheen here again with another how-to video for a level 60 Mage in Rift. What we're doing today is a 40 Archon, 36 Pyromancer. This is a 10-man Pyromancer Archon build that is meant to buff your enemies and still do a decent amount of DPS. Doesn't matter where you are, you can do this class pretty much everywhere, still have a lot of fun, and everybody else will love you. Reason why I call it a 10-man Pyrocon spec here, as you can see, is because it's only 40 Archon. It's meant more for 10-man raids or expert dungeons, and most of these abilities here that are still blacked out because I have not taken the points for them get replaced by a rogue bard in a lot of the 20-mans. Like I said, this is good for somewhere like TDQ where it's a 10-man, or an expert dungeon where there's not always a bard, or even if there is a bard, you're still prepared for it. So the spec goes 40 in the Archon tree, 2 in Blood Pact, 3 in Favored Ally, 5 in Soulfire, 5 in Vital Assistance, 2 in Altruist, 2 in Speed and Numbers, 3 in Empowered Aegis, 1 in Lava Field, 2 in Lava Spout, 5 in Rising Vengeance, 2 in Power and Numbers, 1 in Earthen Barrage, 1 in Waning Power, 2 in Earthen Shards, 1 in Spark Shower, 3 in Inspiration. Pyromancer tree goes like this: 3 in Fiery Concentration, 5 in Ignition, 3 in Improved Combustion, 3 in Burning Fury, 3 in Innate Fire, 2 in Ravenous Flames, 3 in Improved Flame Bolt, 3 in Wildfire, 1 in Pyromancer's Armor, 5 in Improved Glyphs of Power. Last tree that I use is Harbinger. I use that because I can use Lightning Charge, which gives my weapon attacks a little bit of a buff here, just to be able to do that little bit more DPS. But that's the only reason why that's there. You can switch it out with Dominator, because the macro that I will show you later can use Neural Prod in it for when you have to move around. But I choose Countdown and Searing Vitality out of the 2 trees, Archon and Pyromancer, instead. So now, looking at my action bars, we have our 4 buffs. We have Pyromancer's Armor, Glyphs of Power, Flaring Intellect, and Lightning Charge. You also have 3 Arcane Auras, which are raid buffs for you. They last 5 minutes each. You want to keep Arcane Aegis on, Vitality of Stone, and Shared Vigor on as well. This is a 1-button spam macro. We have Lava Field down here, which increases your DPS for you and whoever's standing in the circle. Flaring Power, which is the equal opposite of the Coolermaster tree's Wild Growth, except this one increases your attack and spell power by 15% for the entire raid for 30 seconds. I keep a cleanse down here. It's an AoE cleanse. Works really well. Ashen Defense and Crumbling Resistance are opposites of each other. They're both debuffs for the enemy that increase physical damage taken by 5% and increased non-physical damage taken by 7%. This one increases the mage's resistance by 45, and this one, Ashen Defense, increases mage's armor by 689. Waning Power, I'm not really sure why I have that there, but I keep it on the bar just to be able to watch when it's going to come off of cooldown so I can let some bigger attacks loose. Internalized Charge and Power Drain are both damage increasers that are charge consumers. You want to use those very situationally. Power Drain is more or less used for increasing your damage by 10%. It will also reduce the enemy's damage by 10%, so if you have a raid boss or expert boss that's about to use one of their bigger attacks, you throw that on, they do 10% less, your raid or your party survives a little bit more easily. Otherwise, if you just want to go for the damage, you can use Internalized Charge to do an extra 19%. Illuminate is also here. That's another buff you want to put on your enemy. or all the enemies if you can. If you can switch targets, throw that on all of them. Causes the enemy to take 1500 additional damage when hit for 20 seconds. Every attacker in the party or in the raid can trigger this once every 3 seconds. Now I keep these 3 guys up here just to watch their cooldowns. They're all in the macro. The point of that being is that when these 3 are about to come all off of cooldown and ready to be casted again, you can throw on Power Drain or Internalized Charge, and they'll do that much more damage. Burning Shield I also keep up here on the bar just in case. You know, it's a 30-second shield that absorbs some damage. It helps. Very situational again. Increases your survivability a little bit, but not something I typically use all the time. Like I said, very situational. So now to the macro. We have Show Flame Bolt, Suppress Macrofailures, cast Waning Power, cast Flame Bolt, cast Inferno, cast Volcanic Bomb, cast Earthen Barrage, cast Spark Shower, cast Fireball, cast Countdown, and cast Searing Vitality. That will include all 3 of these hard-hitting spells, and let's go through the rotation. First thing you want to do, again, make sure you are completely buffed with your Pyromancer buffs and your 1 Harbinger buff. Then put on Arcane Aegis. Everybody in your group gets these 3 auras. You want to select your target. You want to put on Ashen Defense, Crumbling Resistance, and Illuminate. Then you want to start hitting your number 1 spam button here. You watch that DPS meter down on your lower right there raise. You can see it still does some decent damage against the raid boss practice dummy. We got a Cinder Burst proc here. We gotta get that out. Once you have your charge meter built up here, you can then drop your lava field around you and your party and throw out Flaring Power, and then continue casting. Now this is about to come off cooldown, so we're gonna throw on Internalized Charge, and we're gonna see some higher hitting numbers here. There's another Cinder Burst proc. And we're maintaining somewhere between 8,500 to 9,000 DPS per second with this spec, which is pretty dang close to a regular Pyromancer spec. Some big numbers, if you're a fan of big numbers coming up on the screen. The critical attacks here, or the critical hits, will make you very happy. Now once your 3 auras, you're going to be watching these up here. Once they come down to about 2 minutes, 1 minute, you're going to want to recast everything. You also have the 2 that you cast on the boss or on your target. You're going to want to refresh those. Now for sake of time, we're not going to wait till 1 minute. We're just going to throw up these buffs again. Put Ashen Defense, Crumbling Resistance, and Illuminate back on. Now these 3 are off cooldown. We're going to throw up Internalized Charge again and let them all hit. Drop a Lava Field again. Your Flaring Power is not quite off of cooldown. There's a 49,000 crit. That's what I was looking for this video. And we're still maintaining between 85 to 9,000 DPS and on the rise. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions at all about this spec, or if you have ideas to make changes to make it better, I will consider them. Just leave them in the comments. Please like the video or subscribe to the channel. There's a lot more good stuff to come. If you have, again, any questions, please leave a comment or send us an email. Thanks again for your time. You guys have a good day and enjoy the spec. Thank you.